Hi, I'm Samantha Heil, Executive Director of Book Fair at Bel Air, and I'd love to invite you to one of the biggest bookish events in the region. Join us on Saturday, August 8th, 2026 from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at APG FCU Arena at Harford Community College for a free, family-friendly event celebrating books, readers, and community. Book Fair at Bel Air features more than 110 authors and vendors, best-selling featured authors, kids' activities, face painting, story time, arts and crafts, photo ops, and plenty of fun for readers of all ages. Whether you're a lifelong reader, raising future bookworms, or just looking for a unique day out with the family, there's something for everyone at Book Fair at Bel Air. Learn more at www.bookfairatbelair.org or follow us on Instagram at Book Fair at Bel Air. We hope to see you there this August.
Coming to you from the Freedom Federal Credit Union Studios, Harford County Living presents Conversations with Rich Bennett.
Slow pitch at first.
It's probably the least sexy part of work. It's okay. No. The truth is,
I met this gentleman years ago on another episode for the Kelly Group, I believe. Kelly Group, right?
It was, yeah,
Kelly
Brian
Group.
Kelly.
We were talking about Arthur Brooks.
Absolutely.
And I told him he needed to come on, and he ignored me. No, he didn't. No, he did. He's just been busy.
We're here.
But Sandy from Harford's Heart Magazine said, okay, you have to get him on. I said, my God, yes, I would love to, because when it comes to local businesses, especially with somebody that's been in it as long as you and your family have, I love talking to these people. So I have Howard McComas IV, right?
The fourth, right?
On. Now, all right, so I got to ask you, because my brother-in-law's name is Howard, but he goes by Junior.
Does he? Okay.
Yeah, so do you go by Howard?
Actually,
Junior?
No, I go by Howard. I mean,
Okay.
I do. Yeah, and it's interesting because I'm there, and my dad, Howard, the third, he's there too. So he normally gets the Mr. Howard, in there. So yeah, I'm Howard the fourth, and yes, I do have the fifth, and he's Howard the fifth. But somebody smarter than me when he was born, because I wanted him to have his own identity.
Right.
So somebody smarter than me said, Quinn, Latin for 5 is Quinn, so he's known as Quentin. He has he has that, but he is Howard V. So yeah, a couple generations running around.
All right, and for those people listening that aren't here in Harford County or even in Maryland, for the ones that like in all the other countries,
sure,
tell them what the business is.
Okay, so we're a family funeral home, and have been blessed to be in the community here in Harford County, Maryland, for this year it's going to be 218 years. In business, yeah, I know.
Wow. Because with most family-owned businesses, they're proud if they even make it to a second generation.
Sure.
And with your family serving the community for over 200 years, when you really stop to think about that legacy, what does that mean to you personally?
I'm very humbled.
Yeah.
I can say, being a part of the 7th generation in the family. My grandfather died the year I was born, so I never even got to know that generation.
Oh, wow.
To just think about the amount of folks that have come before us here now that have perpetuated this business throughout history is just very humbling. To have, and that was when the time when normally the sons carried on the business. Right. It's just the way it was in history. So to have the lineage of that many boys being born within the family, and then to maintain a business. Obviously, business back in 1808 is the inception date. So obviously what the business looked like back then, you're doing funerals, but you're also selling horses, and you're doing all different kinds of things because you had to back then.
I never thought about that.
Well, it was a different, obviously, big time day and time. But to carry on a business that is this intimate throughout the years, the way it's been, that's the real blessing I look back and think about. And I would just love to drop in history just a little bit to see how things were being done in the years before us.
God, that just hit me, because 1808 That's before the Civil War and everything. So basically, people were still being put in pine boxes.
Yeah, it was a very simplified process, obviously. But it was also functional.
Right.
Serving, you had to get the deceased from one place to the other.
Right.
But then there's a mechanism of that family and allowing them to create a tribute. So however it was being done, the family helped make that happen back then.
Oh, my God. This just hit me because you look at all the old cemeteries around here.
Sure.
And my brother-in-law loves going to them, and he helps restore some of the old stones.
Okay, sure.
That have been torn up. But people always look at the person that is buried there and the history of that person.
Mm-hmm.
But just think about that. How many of those people had come through McComas?
Yeah.
Wow.
And the thing is, the world may never know. I mean, the records, you can imagine the records back then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Rich, the story goes, and stories are stories.
Right.
But the story goes, we were always been in Abingdon, Maryland. But it was a higher class thing for folks that lived in the city to be buried out in the country.
Right.
So railroad ran right through Abingdon, Sewell Station specifically. And the word is we had the biggest buckboard at the time. So buckboard is a wagon.
Oh, okay.
Yep. See? You're a young man. You probably wouldn't know that, right?
I do. I was probably taught that at school and forgot,
That's the way it was explained to me. So, just out of functionality, we were the ones to go down and pick up the deceased and then make sure they got to where they needed to go.
Wow.
And I think from there, I do know that we started making furniture. And from the furniture, part of that were caskets. So we were actually functionally, again, making what the deceased would go into. And I think it just evolved from there to become more of a service provided versus just a product.
Now, is the original funeral home still standing where it was originally?
So the original, where everything used to take place, was right there on the corner of Route 7 and Abingdon Road.
Right.
And that house is no longer there.
Okay.
So that's where it originally happened. The first freestanding funeral home is actually the white building right on Abingdon Road, which is now a liquor store. So that's the actual freestanding first funeral home for the family. And that goes back to my great-grandfather and grandfather days.
I had no idea.
Yes. And it all happened right out of that facility.
That's 2 stories, isn't it? Or is that one?
It's one with a basement.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be darned.
Isn't that crazy?
That is. I did not know that.
Yeah. So that's
now I have to go into that liquor store. I've never been in it. I just want to go
start
in
envisioning.
Well, the thing is, and I think this is where, when it comes to history, a lot of people miss the boat on this. Whenever you go somewhere, and we were talking before we started recording about Angels Envy and how you changed the entrance there, which I've been there not too long ago. I've never really noticed, but now I want to look at it because it's got even more history to it.
Sure.
But to stand in that old building, the first freestanding one, and just soak into history.
Sure.
I mean, I think too many people don't do that.
Yeah, and we're losing the generation that remembers doing business there too. See, I still have folks come in and say, "Hey, we remember going to see Granddad's services there at your old place." They would call it. So that goes back to the early 70s, late 60s. Right. And that was primarily my grandfather, great-grandfather, and then eventually my dad, Howard.
Wow.
So that business was there until really my grandfather's death in 1967. And then the business started transforming from there. My grandmother, Nina, which a lot of people would remember, she and my dad continued the business, broke away from a different part of the family that at that time were adversarially trying to figure out the business.
Yeah.
So he decided to move from that location and just moved up the hill where we are now on top of the hill there on Route 7. And then he and my grandmother, basically, they built that business. So we consider that business as the latest chapter in the business, and that just celebrated 50 years in existence there on top of the hill.
Wow.
Yeah. So the joke is, I mean, we've moved 200 yards in 200 years, basically.
Yeah, but you're now in what, Jarrettsville and
We
Bel Air
are.
as well,
Yes,
right?
we're there on Bel Air, in town.
Right.
We're the only funeral home there in town, right there on Broadway in Williams.
You're the only one in town?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
Okay.
right near, you go up to Klein to make a left,
Yeah.
and we're in there, and then been there since 1994.
Okay.
Purchased that from the Foster family, who had been there for many years, who had a hardware store and a furniture building. You know, so, I mean, you see the trend.
Yeah.
And then it's been 6 years ago now. We, in 2018, 19, purchased the funeral home up in Jarrettsville, and that was the Kurtz family. And, you know,
Oh, wow.
then the Kurtz family, they were in business for about 170 years. And so it very generational. They just got to a point where they were tired. I mean,
Yeah.
this business will wear on you.
All right. So with the McComas family, how far back do you guys go in Harford County?
No, I told you, 1808.
That's when the funeral home started. But as far as family-wise,
That's
like
tough.
ancestors and all, it's hard to say.
That's tough because, I mean, we go back, and like I mentioned before, I mean, not many people know about the Bush Declaration, but
Right.
that was
Before
actually
the Independence of Declaration, or the
it was-
Declaration of
it's a
Independence.
precursor
Yeah. Yep.
to the Declaration of Independence, and you know, a group of folks, and you just couldn't imagine getting in their heads back then. But you know, you have England doing what they were doing to
Right.
us. And a group of locals, and if you look at the list, it's all a lot of local names we know today. They got together and they decided to sign a Declaration of Independence from England. And you can just imagine what was in their mindset to
Yeah.
do so. So yes, we're blessed that James McComas, one of our descendants, actually signed that, and that was back in 1775. So that was a year before the big document got
So
signed.
you may have one of the longest, how do I explain this? Longest reigning, sounds like I'm getting ready to say like the world champion or whatever,
Yeah.
but families in Harford County.
So
then.
there's several families in the county that are
Right.
of that age or older.
But still here?
What I will tell you, and the ancestors are still here.
Okay.
But and we learned that when we celebrated the Bush Declaration, a lot of those families came back together.
Oh, really?
That was
Yeah.
very humbling.
Wow.
It really was. And we started talking about the various different generations. What I can tell you is we are the oldest family-owned and operated business in Harford County. And as far as funeral homes go, we're about number 5 in the country. So, and I can't answer to the others before us or older than us if they are still family within the business. So
But
I don't know
family
that.
owned.
But family owned still. Yeah.
What is it with these corporations coming in and purchasing these funeral homes?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is a business, right?
I mean, it's a money making business. We know that.
It's a ministry,
Yeah.
and it is a business. So I think any time that you see that situation, that the business aspect of it, you're going to have corporate America take a look at that and you know, enter into that market. So the big misnomer nowadays, and I heard you mention this before, still today, even we think about corporate America, you see it everywhere you go. Still, the majority of the funeral homes are still owned by families.
Okay.
So it's still the majority owned, but you do have corporations that have moved into communities and purchased.
them up.
They have.
See, and I think when you go to, and I only know this from experience, especially for living here all my life, going to a funeral home, just that family-owned business part of it, the people going there have such a, I want to say you guys have an advantage because you're more connected with the people that are coming there as being a family-owned business. Whereas if it's a corporation, even if it's got some family still working there, I don't think the connection's still there like it used to be.
The corporate approach, I really think works on a lot of different levels in different areas, economies to scale. You can spread out your costs and that type of thing. In the funeral business specifically, bottom line is you're meeting a stranger.
Right.
You're creating a very intimate relationship in a very short time at one of their most trying times in their lives. And to be able to guide them, meet them where they are, and actually walk alongside them, that's just a tough undertaking for a corporation in my eyes. I like to be able to have the person on the premises who can make the call, can figure it out, can be can create that experience.
Right.
That's what we're all about. And I think you have a lot more flexibility to do that if you have the folks that actually own the business right there with you. That's my opinion.
Well, not only that, I'm sure, especially if your history and everybody you know in Harford County, and I know you've come across people that families, they have lost a loved one and they're coming to you. Mm-hmm. So you have that personal connection as well, which I think would even help people heal more in their grief. Just knowing it's like, we're going to McComas because Howard knew so-and-so. I know it can be hard on you, but I think at the same time, it's easier for the families.
Rich, I went to Edgewood High School, so local, have relationships there. I did choose and was able to go away to college.
Right.
And that was the only time I really got out of this community. That's the only lot of time anybody gets out of their community, but I did. So I was away
That's
for
true.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a good excuse sometimes too, right? But I never had that outside perspective. So
right.
I grew up around the funeral home, cut grass and set up chairs and that type of thing. I'd help out with visitations. I'd help out taking people into our care, funerals, all of that. And that's something that I did growing up because I was supposed to, and Dad asked me to do it and that type of thing. It wasn't until going away and being completely out of the community and having a different perspective of a different place. I went down in North Carolina, and then coming back it was a holiday or something. I never forget standing in the lobby next to my dad, and he knew 75 to 80% of the people walking in the front door. That is when it clicked in my head that I understood that's going to give me what I need in life. It's relationships. And I think if you think about what you do, no matter what you do, I think it's relationships that just give you that strength to do whatever you do. And I realized it then. So the funeral part, it's our business, but it's creating those relationships. So I'm going back to your point. I give out my cell phone regularly. I get texts now that I'm getting older and my friends are getting older, right? I'll get a text or a call and say, Howard, hey, mom or grandmom, I don't know what to do. Just can you help me? And that's where I am. Yeah. That's my fulfillment right there. So I'm answering your question. It's the relationships.
Well, and the thing is, and it's more than just family that work there, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, because one of the things I've noticed every time I've gone there, the people that work there are just so friendly. Because I've been to other places where they're not as friendly. Mm-hmm. They're like, they want you to hurry up, get in, get out. But no, everybody that I've met that works there is just so friendly, even to the point to where when they come to a location, I guess. All right, so because correct me if I'm wrong here, when somebody passes in a house, then you guys come and pick the body up, right?
We will. I mean, there's a process,
right?
But we'll come take them into our care.
Okay, because I could have sworn it was you guys, and I did that for one of our neighbors.
Okay,
and it just made them feel so comfortable, so at ease.
Sure.
And that's a hard time for people.
It is.
But you guys relieve that.
It's interesting you mentioned that part of it. When we go to a home, we've done that obviously for years.
Right.
One day it hit us in the head that, there needs to be more because if mom was in that home, maybe on hospice.
Yes.
So she's been there extended amount of time. We always went and had a hospital bed and everything right there as a family. And then here we come in when she passes, take her into our care. Then all of a sudden there was an emptiness because that bed is no longer full, and she's been there. So what our folks did, I'm giving you this as an example of just one of our areas. The fellas and the ladies that do these transfers, they now leave a rose, and they'll also leave a card that each of them sign, saying it's an honor to work with your family. Thank you for entrusting your loved one in our care. Wow. Now that there's something there, when they go back into the room. This is a long answer to your question. Our goal when it comes to our team, and it is a team, because you got to all work together, is to hire somebody based upon what they have in their heart and their head. I know that sounds cliched, but give me someone that really believes in our mission of helping folks. And you got half a brain. I mean, I got about a quarter of a brain, so I ask everybody else to at least a half a brain. But have it in your heart and your head. Yeah. And then we'll teach funeral all day long. And it, for the most part, that works. And that's what you're seeing when you walk in the door. Because I can tell you, everybody works there is wired that way.
Oh, it's amazing.
It is. No, we are blessed, and I'll use that word over and over, but we are.
Wow.
We are.
So with now I want to get mainly to you, because you've been involved. I mean, I'm not talking about just at the funeral home, but you've been involved with the community. God, for how long now?
Well,
probably before college, right? In a way,
probably so, but more time to dedicate, since being in the business.
Yeah.
And you say me, but I mean it's everybody.
It's been the family, right?
It's a family, and it's folks that actually work there also. They're all involved in something around the county to give back. But that part you understand very quickly. You're not in this by yourself.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's all a matter of not just doing what I got to do, and I run a business, and you come and use my business. No, it's a big picture.
Well, how important is that for other businesses to be so involved with the community? Because you guys are a good example of that.
It's a choice, right? I mean, you can come.
Well, everything's a choice. You think about it.
It is.
But it could be a bad choice if you don't.
And we've all made them. Well, I'll raise my hand right now. You just can't see it. But no, I absolutely believe. I'll go back to that concept of relationships.
Yeah.
You're establishing relationships, and giving back just plain feels good, and that'd be a great thing to pass on. And I pass it on to my boys and young people. Start doing that a little bit, and man, you're going to get something big time out of it. Plus, people remember that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So, the trust that they have as you work with them on different committees and different things, around the county, then they see that, and hopefully you can fulfill that if you work with them.
Do you actually go out and talk to groups, whether it be like Rotary clubs, Lions, whatever, about the business? Because sometimes people wait till it's too late to look into something. And I'll bring up a story here in a minute.
The answer is yes.
Okay.
So, I go back to, the relationships with the businesses or the organizations. Let me just mention this. Harford Community College has been a big thing. So involved in the board there for years, and that's just incredible institution in our backyard that people don't even understand some. And then Boys and Girls Club, I got to give a shout out because and been involved with them now for over 25 years.
Wow!
And so honored to serve as chair of their board right now. So I specifically want to give shout outs to a couple of those organizations because they continue to give back, and that gives us that's very fulfilling.
25 years on the board?
Yeah, they haven't got rid of me yet. So just
I know the feeling.
Keep showing up.
But that's a great organization too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I think now more than ever, you talk about children. Right.
Oh.
And we talk about environment that it's hard to disagree without hating somebody. We can do better.
Yeah.
We can do better. So let's start young, right? And start influencing young. So anyway, I got off track a little bit, but I definitely want to mention those.
Oh no, I remember.
And there's so much other too.
I remember doing Santa Claus one year.
Okay.
For I think it was at the McPhail Center though, where I did it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the Bel Air Club.
And oh my God.
Yeah.
Loved it. Now I wish I had the time to do it.
Yeah.
Do Santa Claus one time, and then right away everybody was.
Well, that organization, in particular, serving over 2,000 kids a day. Yeah, which is just absolutely amazing.
The story I wanted to tell you, and I'm sure you've ran into situations like this. My mother, when she had gotten cancer, so she knew her time was coming. So she said, "All right, we need to go shopping." Okay, well, it was to the funeral home where she wanted to go shopping.
Okay.
And she took me, my two brothers, and my sister. And it felt weird, but my mother broke the ice very quick.
Okay.
And my younger brother, because she said, she was looking at the caskets. She said, "Well, I don't really like that." One of my younger brothers said, "Mom, what do you care? You're not going to see it anyways." Or it was the inside of it.
Okay.
So you're not going to really see well, it's going to be my head on it, and it's got to be comfortable, and I'm going to. But meanwhile, whoever was there helping us for the funeral home was just cracking up.
Yeah.
But have you ever, when people come in, I want to say to shop,
Sure.
because that's what it is.
Sure.
Are there any funny moments like that where you're just like, okay, yeah, this is going to be a fun one.
Rich, you can tell when you start working with folks.
Yeah.
When you do it ahead of time like that, with prearranging.
Yeah.
You have obviously a different emotional investment.
Right.
Right. So it allows for a lot more lighter conversation. But I will tell you, I have had, we've had somebody that wanted to try it out first. So absolutely. I raised my hand. So they selected a casket, we brought it in, and that's fine. Just go ahead and do whatever you think you need to do. So so this isn't every day, but yeah, I mean, craziness.
Oh, no.
But whatever, however you got to figure it out. Whatever you got to figure out.
I worked with a guy when I was in the IT field, and he worked part-time at a funeral home.
Okay.
And he would do that, just get in there and lay down sometimes if it was slow. And boy, it's like, dude, what is wrong with you? Yeah. Well, it's just part of the job.
You can imagine as a kid growing up around that place what some things they would do to you. So
actually, speaking of a kid growing up, all the different generations, 7 different generations, has there ever been anybody in the family that didn't want to get into the family business that isn't in the family business? Or has everybody more or less gotten into it?
I can only answer for the last couple generations.
Well, of
obviously.
course.
But it's one of those things where it is not a business to get into just because that's your last name.
Right.
And again,
as with any business. So
right now in the business, my father's there. He's 83 years old, and every day he's there because of relationships. Right. He just thrives on that, like our whole family does. My sister Holly, who's very involved in a community too, is in the business, and myself. So, is there a pressure? Well, I remember growing up, I will say, Dad said, "Hey, you do whatever you want to do in life. Just remember you have a Roman numeral at the end of your name." I'm like, point taken.
My father never pulled that one on me, but I like that.
Point taken. And with that being said, it's worked out. Okay, I think it's worked out.
Now, does your son have any plans?
He does.
He
really does.
Oh, wow,
he really does. So
that'd be 8 generations.
8th generation. Wow. Yeah, he's just out of college, and he's. I've encouraged him. With this being a legacy business, I've encouraged him to figure himself out. So right now he's working at a bank down in North Carolina. Actually he's in a bank that lends to funeral homes of all things. So he actually travels around visiting funeral homes and seeing their operations. So he's getting it from a different direction, a different angle.
That's good though.
Yeah. It has worked out really well. So,
wow.
It's a special situation. So to answer your question, yes, anticipation is anyway the next generation.
So throughout the years, and I know you can't answer for the generations that you weren't there.
We can make something up.
Okay, that works.
Okay.
What has been some of the biggest changes you've seen in the business throughout the years? I mean, besides the fact that you're not using pine boxes anymore.
Well, I think a lot, there's a couple things. One is church, is organized religion. I mean, we all see it. We all feel it. Less folks, I'm generalizing, but less folks are identifying with an organized religion.
Right.
And let's face it, religion has traditional rituals with it, as do funerals. So that's
and cultures.
And absolutely. So that's one of the things.
Yeah.
So when folks go away from maybe that organized religion situation, they may be left not quite understanding now, what should I do when I get married? What should I do when somebody in my family dies? Because now that structure's gone. So now they're actually trying to figure out, now what's going to be my structure? There's so much to be said about traditions. There's a reason traditions are in place. So our big challenge we have is people understanding the value of the process of grieving, the value of the process of memorializing or having a funeral for somebody. People are running away from the word funeral, by the way, because it just signifies grief and sorrow. And we're into a society, you know this, that everything's either on a phone, immediate. I'll use this. I call it the Wawa mentality. Okay. So I go in, put in the order, and I wait there. They call my number, and I got it. No muss, no fuss. I don't have to deal with anything else.
Yeah.
It has driven, I think, folks they want everything as easy as possible. And there is a place that it's not easy. I mean, when you lose somebody, that's a life lived. There is a process, and part of that is pain. It's sorrow.
You have to grieve to heal.
But I tell you, there's a lot, I will say I'm generalizing, but there are a lot of folks that want to skip that and let's just get together and we'll raise a beer to Dad because that's what he would want. He wouldn't want us to go through all that. The problem is you're going to go through it, but you're not going to go through it necessarily the way, in a healthy way. Yeah. It may be down the road a little bit. So a change, and that this isn't everybody, but I see that trend. Yeah. So that's one of the things I see. I use this example, and this is actually a real world example. A lady lost her husband. He'd been sick for a little while. Decided not to have services because of what I just mentioned. Right. You know, just don't want to take my family through all of that. She came back to us a month later, and she says, "I need to have something." And we asked her, what changed your mind? She said, "I've been to Klein's in Bel Air now 3 times shopping. And 3 times I've had somebody walk up to me and say, 'How's Jim?' She has to talk about his illness and what happened. And she's had to do that 3 different times. Wow. So versus having that visitation, gathering, remembering him, now she's had to stand in that visitation line 3 times in Klein's when you're not prepared to even have that. So just a general illustration of it does go on.
You're listening to Conversations with Rich Bennett. We'll be right back. I want to take a minute to talk about Harford's Heart magazine. In full transparency, I'm proud to say I'm a business partner with them. Why? Because Harford's Heart is Harford County's only truly local magazine. This isn't a franchise or a publication run from outside the area. It's built right here, focused on our community, our businesses, and the people who make Harford County special. I read every issue because it highlights local events, restaurants, nonprofits, and businesses that deserve real visibility, not just an ad stuck on a page. As a business partner, I believe in what they're doing, and I trust the platform enough to put my name behind it. If you're a local business looking to connect with the community in a meaningful way, or a resident who wants to stay in the know, check them out at harfordsheart.com. Local matters, and Harford's Heart gets that right. Are you seeing more people getting away from the burial part and going towards cremation more?
So we are. And there's a trend there. It's a nationwide trend.
Right.
We see a lot of that because, well, one of the things, people are so transient nowadays. You know, where'd you say you grew up?
Here, Joppatown,
where we're sitting right now, right? I grew up in Abingdon, went to Edgewood. So you and I are kind of anomalies.
Right.
But then we talk about our children and where they may be and how far a family is spread out.
Yeah.
So cremation has become let's use the word, a portable option too, because no longer does everybody have that family cemetery, that family plot.
Right.
So that's one piece of it. Cost is another consideration, although, you know, again, there's a balance there when it comes to cost and the services you select also. But I hear the word simplicity. Let's simplify things. And, you know, cremation is, we offer those services.
Right.
We keep that service in our care, actually at our Baylor facility. But that's not the reason in my mind to do it.
Yeah.
That's simplification. We still need to go through the process. So yes, I'd say now we're about 50-50. We're about burial services about 50%, and then cremation about 50%.
Is there any services that you guys offer that some people may be surprised about?
Well, I don't know about surprised, but I go back to cremation. I mean, a lot of folks, majority of folks we work with, have a viewing with the body present, have the funeral or mass or service, and then cremate afterwards. And not everybody knows that can happen.
Oh,
so that simply is the cremation takes the place of the burial, but you still have, if you want to use the word traditional, you still have the process of that.
Okay.
The other thing is, I mentioned earlier about organized religion. You know, still plenty of people go to church. Trust me, Easter at St. Ignatius, I can raise my hand. There's a lot of people that go to church. However, some people don't identify, as we mentioned, with religion. So we have a system in place called a celebrant program.
Yeah.
Okay, you may have heard about that. And that simply is we have a couple folks that will meet with a family. They'll learn about their loved one. And the whole service is really centered around their loved one, maybe versus scripture.
Right.
And that is, again, hopefully meeting them where they are. So that's a service that has really been growing, and we do that quite often.
As far as, because I know with cremation, and I only knew this from when my brother was cremated, his wife had contacted us and asked us if we wanted any pieces of jewelry or whatever.
Okay.
That they were putting the ashes in.
Sure.
And then I had another friend of mine, when he passed, I guess he was cremated because he's part of a coral reef or something.
Okay.
Which I never heard of that either.
There's a lot out there.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. There are a lot of companies out there doing those types of things.
So that's not something that's done through the funeral home.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we can coordinate any of those things.
Okay.
Some of them obviously we're doing a little bit more than others.
Yeah.
The coral reef, not so much, but we can help facilitate that. The jewelry, sure. I mean, you can put a little bit of the cremated remains, we call it, the ashes, in jewelry for folks. It's, hey,
I know a lot of people that.
We've had the families and 4 kids, and they all want part of mom to take home. So again, you accommodate, you meet folks where they are and their needs.
Wow.
Yeah, it is.
Something else that you guys, I believe you guys do it, because I could have sworn, I've seen you there. And a lot of people don't know this, may not know this when it comes to the funeral homes working with these people. You work with a lot of veteran organizations as well, don't you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, we got, in July, we actually have a veteran fair up at our Jarrettsville location.
Oh.
We work with Bob Brown. He's Commissioner of Veterans Affairs here in the county. And matter of fact, if you haven't had him on here, he'd be a great one.
I'd have to get him on.
Yeah, I'll put a plug in there.
Okay.
But we do that every year. But beyond that, absolutely. I mean, the respect and honor that those men and women deserve I think everybody deserves it, but it's just one more notch. So when we take somebody into our care, it starts there. So we'll cover them with a blanket of stars or a flag. So that from the very beginning, that'll signify the fact that they've served our country. And then following that, they'll get a special video tribute.
Right.
If we go to the cemetery, we'll have flags in the ground that we put in, and we call that the Walk of Honor. We also have large flags at each of our facilities that we'll put out, and then flags on the hearse. If it's good enough for the Prez, it's certainly good enough for our veterans. So we have American flags or various different branch of flags, or law enforcement or fire, that type of thing. Just it's the veterans, but it's also public service.
Yes.
We just have been we have valued that partnership and that relationship through the years, and no, that's something special.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but if a veteran or a first responder wants to be cremated, you guys burn the flag with them, don't you?
We do. We have a flag retirement program. Yes.
Okay.
So the proper way to retire a flag is to burn it honorably, not running around the street. Burn it, right? Okay. Do it the right way. And we do. We offer that program. We have collection boxes at the Legion there in Bel Air, right down the road here at Edgewood, and then up in Darlington too. So actually, with everybody that elects to have a cremation done, we ask them if it's okay to cremate, to retire a flag with their loved one. So it's not just with veterans.
Oh, I love that.
And the majority of folks will say absolutely. So we'll do it that way.
And I bring that up because I recently lost I say brother, served in the Marine Corps with me, and he wanted to be cremated, and I told my sister to let his girlfriend know. I said, I believe he can do that. She goes, you sure? I said, I know the Legion and our post collects the flags, and I'm pretty sure that is one of the reasons why they retired the flag with him in the ashes, and it's there.
Sure.
So, but it's amazing how many people do not know that, and I think it's important. But I love the fact that it can be with anybody.
It can be, and then if we have an inordinate amount, we'll actually put together a service, and we've done that. We've done that before with the Boy Scouts, and brought the Boy Scouts in, or the Legion, or whoever, and they're part of that process. So we'll do that right there at our crematory.
Oh, that's amazing.
Well, again, it's community, right?
Yeah.
And it is amazing. I'll tell you, during COVID, we could tell people were cleaning their houses out because the amount of flags that came into us during the COVID time was amazing. It is. So
how was that time for you guys? Because visitations had to be hard. Well, you couldn't have them, right?
Well, during the height of it, we followed the regulations of churches, basically.
Okay.
So it went down to 50%, then it went down to 10 people. And, from there, it was just like, it was excruciating for families.
Yes.
A lot of them, that's the first time they had seen their ill mom was at the funeral home.
Wow.
Because they couldn't go into the hospital, if you remember when it was at its worst. So we always joked about drive-by viewings. We actually did that. I mean, our facilities allow for that, especially the one in Abingdon. So that
the
front
glass
lobby, sure.
I didn't realize that's what that. Wow.
So we utilized that for that in the extreme cases, but that allowed folks to come without coming inside. And we're supposed to be safe outside.
Yeah,
so
that's brilliant, though.
Well, that time,
because that's beautiful up there.
With everybody that everybody dealt with.
Yeah.
That time, everybody had to adjust and figure out how are you going to continue life.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't just simply say, well, everybody work from home, right?
Yeah, that would make it kind of hard.
Well, listen, our folks got together and half our directors actually went home and stayed there. They worked from families remotely while another half stayed in the on location and made things happen there. So unheard of in our business, but we adapted and figured it out.
Wow.
And let's never go back there again.
No.
Huh?
No, we definitely don't want to go back there.
With
the services and everything, because you've already talked about some of the feel good stories, which I think when somebody passes on doing a lot of the traditional things, I think it is a feel good moment. To be honest, that's just me because everybody that I've lost, when we go through that, it seems to put us at peace. It puts us at ease. But has there ever been a moment for you when you've been there and it just emotionally wise got to you?
I can, after doing this for 35-ish years full time, I can tell you every service we do, I firmly believe takes a little piece from you.
Right.
Takes a little piece. When you start working with tragedy, like our deputies, you know, when those guys were taken from us, then all of a sudden what's taken from you is a bigger piece. When you work with children, when you work with other sudden deaths, there's no way you don't come from that without just a little piece, because, you know, we're not only serving a function, we're walking alongside these families, and you don't do that without being so involved. So, yes, absolutely, it is. And if life's full of balance, but we're simply not in balance all the time.
Right.
And a lot of times you got to balance the ministry side and the business side, because it's both. And if I can tell you, if we're ever going to err on the side of one, it's going to be the ministry side. It's just the way everybody's wired. Yeah. And that's when we got to get together and support one another.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's the team we have. We've got 8 directors. Of 8 directors, we have 6 ladies. The average age is about 33.
Really?
You asked me about a change in the industry. That's a huge change. And I personally think it's been a change for the better.
Yeah.
I mean, when I grew up, my grandmother was in the business, and then my sister came in, but they were minorities in the business. It was a predominantly male-oriented industry. Nowadays, going into school, about 85% of the folks going into school to become a funeral director are women.
Wow.
Yes. And I can tell you, our business, as I mentioned before, I think is being served better than it ever has.
Yeah.
For the reason there's a nurturing nature about women. There just is. And they can connect so well with families. So
that's true.
It is but that's been a trend, nationwide too.
I didn't realize that.
It is. So
wow.
You say one of the big changes nationally or nationwide, that's been one of the ones too.
How, with everything like the changes throughout the years, how often do you have to retrain for things? Or does the training ever stop at all?
I'm here today after spending an hour with our folks. Every Wednesday morning, we all get together and we'll take a point, and then we'll do a round table on that point.
Okay.
We just had a very difficult situation between the families and a brother and sister that just couldn't quite get it together.
Oh, yeah.
And it went on and on and on. So the directors that worked with that family brought that case study to the table, and we had a round table discussion about it, how it was handled, just general thoughts, and how it could be handled moving forward as a group. So to answer your question, we're always training or retraining or just this. I got to mention this. Culture makes a business.
Yeah.
Culture makes a family too. Culture makes everything. So I'd say relationship 1, but culture 2.
Yeah.
The culture that we have established there together and create and maintain allows us to do what we do. I firmly believe that. And it supports itself, really.
So with yourself and the staff, because, I mean, you guys, well, let's face it, besides hospitals, you guys deal with death more than anybody.
Sure.
Has to take a toll on your mental health at times. So do you guys actually do things to help yourself and the staff as well, whether it be, hey, we're going to send you to this place for a massage or whatever, you know what I mean?
Right. We don't do it enough.
Okay.
But to get together socially, during COVID, we brought in a masseuse.
I was joking about that, but okay.
to be there for everybody.
Yeah.
So I think we do it more in small doses.
Right.
When it's somebody baking something, we had this past year, they got together and we had a Thanksgiving dinner, but it was during the day. But a Thanksgiving dinner, so we brought all of our folks together, and we put right in the chapel, put a big old table in, and just came in and had that time. It's things like that along the way. So we have the Christmas party and the gatherings like that, and that's fine. But I think it's more important to do it along the way and support one another, which I will tell you, I think we can continue to do better there.
When it comes to the funerals and even funeral directors, what are some of the most misunderstood things about them?
I think you just brought it up. I think the mental health aspect of things. And when I was coming up, you go through a tragic loss, and then you need to meet with a family here later today, another family.
Yeah.
You got to just get over it. Nobody focused on that piece.
Right.
And my God, we're human, right?
Yeah.
So I think the mental health aspect of this business is something that people on the outside, I'll say, quite don't understand. But the industry and us, certainly, we understand that more than I think we ever have.
Yeah.
That's one. The other is I wear a suit all the time and just drive around in shiny cars. Okay, that might be a couple things we do. Of course, we wear those suits in 95-degree weather too.
Yeah.
When folks come and work with us full time, we have somebody now that working in the office, and we get it every time. After they've been in the business for a couple weeks, they always say, "I had no idea what goes into the final production of what you do, whether it's mom in the casket, or it's getting the death certificate done, or it's putting the newspaper in without one mistake, or it's making sure the cars are absolutely spotless, or making sure my pin is on straight." They don't see those things, but they get done. So I think that's the other thing. That's the part probably that people just don't understand what goes into getting it done the right way.
I have to point this out because the last time I was at McComas, it was a friend of ours had lost their mother, and there was somebody in the lobby. I think it was a family member. I mean, just bawling, crying, and just actually not even sitting, just walking back and forth like they were lost. And somebody from your staff, a young woman, came up to her and just gave her a huge hug. And it seemed like forever that they were hugging. But the woman that was all upset I walked outside, and she came outside afterwards. And she said to me, she goes, "Oh my God, I really needed that." That was just amazing. That's something you don't see from the staff.
Yeah.
And it just made her feel so much. And I wish I knew the person's name that did that.
Right.
Because to me, that's going above and beyond.
Yeah.
What your job is. And it just, I mean, I started tearing up, to be honest with you. I'm like, oh my God, somebody that works here actually did that? They're like, oh, yeah. They didn't know. I said, because that's my first question. I said, well, did you know what? She goes, no.
Yeah, that's great.
It's like, wow.
Again, if I could say in this day and time, right? I just went to Wawa a little while ago, and I had to force two people to say hi to me because I said hi to them. That's where we are. We walk by people. We walk by people, and we just don't speak. It allows our folks, I think, to be spotlighted a little bit more when they do take that extra care. That might not have been that crazy maybe 30 years ago, but today I'm going to sit down with you and I'm going to pay attention to just you for the next 2 hours.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen much today. It really doesn't. Eye contact really doesn't happen with folks, let alone, I'm here for you right now.
Yeah.
And the other thing is I mean it. I'm not just doing this because Howard's telling me to do this. I mean it, right? Yeah. Well.
All right. So, a couple hard questions here.
Uh-oh.
I know. I'm sorry, but I got to ask the hard ones at times.
On my notes.
So, if someone is listening right now and is dealing with loss, what would you want them to know?
Dealing with a loss that they've had.
Loss, yeah.
Yeah. I will say we also value, and when we work together, we're there for you. But after the fact also, We have grief resources that we have actually on our website on a page. But we also reach out to folks in an aftercare situation. So we call every family and just check in on them. And that hopefully at that point, a week or so later, that's when everybody's gone home. It's quiet.
Yeah.
We're touching them and we can direct them that way. Now, I will say, Rich, our grief resources, 90% of them, they're local.
Right.
So you're not getting some national group.
That's important too.
And listen, national groups are great, but again, we're all about local.
Yeah.
Right. So I would say that's what there's resources out there, whether it's one-on-one or if you're a group person, or just somebody to talk to. So that's what I would say to them. They're absolutely not alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And don't suffer in silence.
Using the local organizations like that is important because the people can even make a contact and make a friend, and if they need them again,
sure.
Because on a nationwide level, well, we know the seats change a lot, so you never know who you're going to get. Yeah. This goes in line with that one too. So, after spending so much of your life helping families, through grief, what do you think matters most in life?
I think I've told you, relationships. It's funny. I'll go back to Arthur Brooks. We talked about. Remember, we went back and he talks about the second strength, and you have a strength in life and what you do, and then as you get older, you need to figure out what is your next strength. And I just absolutely believe it's faith, whatever that may be, right? Something bigger than you.
Yes.
Bottom line. It doesn't have to be organized religion, although it certainly, for a lot of people, it is. For me, it is. Family. I know this sounds cliched, but with family goes the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Have a good spouse or somebody you can turn to, right? And then your personal health. So I'm giving you very general philosophical things.
But it's important.
Absolutely. And if you, and let me, and friends.
Yes.
Yes. You got to have friends. You have a spouse or a significant other, you got your faith, your family, friends. So if you have those things going, you can get through a heck of a lot. And God knows, what we do. I mean, that would be that, right there.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned as I'm turning big 60 soon.
No, it's all right. Why stop making me feel so old?
Sorry.
All right. So I don't know if you can answer this one or not. But we're going to see.
Jeez. What are you doing?
No, we can. All right. No, we can. I'll throw just one word in there. That way you can answer it. All right. So what do you hope people say about the McComas family another 200 years from now?
Wow. Huh? 200 years.
Howard IV was the best.
Yeah. Yeah. Is your teleporter available so my family can get there from Canada?
It may be a thing.
You wanted an
never
answer?
know.
Yeah.
I mean, we have the self-driving cars.
That's right.
So, and people just flying up in space like they do in planes now.
Yeah. Star Trek, right?
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully, and I'm looking now, I'm looking at our family timeline, I guess you want to call it, that is on our website, and I want to talk about that in just a second. But I hope that I can be looking at a list of things and folks speaking that what was done during our time here, as you say, made a difference.
Yeah.
And then they can maybe say, hey, my grandparents used them back around 2030. And I just know it was a great experience. Yeah. No matter what the experience is expected, that's a long time, 200 years from now. But I do, and I hope there can be a little notch that we were there for somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, in a good way.
What you want to talk about? The website?
Well, it's 4th of July coming up, right? I don't know, and I don't know when this. I don't know when this will be aired.
Years.
I don't know when you air things.
I will make sure I have this on before 4th of July.
But we're celebrating 218 years in doing what we do, and we thought about let's celebrate it in a year that the country is celebrating being at 250 years. So from a perspective standpoint. So we're having fun with it. I mean, we have a timeline in each of our locations on our website. We make coins, which you get one today, sir. Absolutely.
Oh, come on.
Why not?
I love that idea.
Yeah. So we're doing that, but for the first time ever.
Oh wow! Thank you.
For the first time ever in the history of the business, we're going to be in the 4th of July parade in Bel Air.
Are you really?
I'm telling you. So. Not my brainchild, my sister, a guy named Charlie, who's been with us forever. They're the creative ones, created a boat. It's supposed to be the boat that we came over from Scotland on. I'm sure it is. And then...
does it still float?
Well, no. We're going to we'll see how much rain comes that day.
Hey, don't call for rain that day. Christy will make me hold the umbrella above her head, so I don't want that.
But we're having fun with it. So we'll be actually in the parade, but we're taking that time just not. The history is very important, but it's more in the community for that amount of time. That's the emphasis we're trying to put on.
I love that.
Yeah.
Who's driving the boat?
I'm not sure yet. Yeah. Nobody's certified, I'll tell you that. We're certified other ways.
Who did these coins for you? This is beautiful.
Yeah, well, we're going back. Well, the facilitator, Sandy, she's the one that put us together. So Sandy Capados did that. I'll give her a little plug.
Sandy does coins?
Well, she finds good people that do good coins. How's that?
Sandy, you and I have to talk. Although I feel bad. Well, you're not a Marine, so I won't get in trouble. Yeah. Because if I'm going somewhere, especially if it's a place where there's a bar, I got to have my challenge coin.
Okay.
My Marine Corps challenge coin. Okay. Because I think that's where more or less they started.
They did. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And those of you that don't know how challenge coins work, actually, you know what? Never mind. That's a whole nother episode. No, these are really
It's nice. A nice calling card, and it's something that hopefully, again, you said 200 years, maybe somebody finds one of those in
another 200 years.
Whatever they keep things in there.
Wait a minute, 2026. Oh, my God, that was so long.
Oh, my, can you believe that?
No, I don't even want to think about that. Jeez.
You and I have talked about a lot of things, but can I just throw in that you talked about being there for folks after the fact and during. We haven't talked about being there beforehand. And if I give me a second with that, we have an active pre-arrangement program.
Huh?
And that is, you talk about speaking to the community.
Yeah.
We travel, we have open houses, we speak at American Legions and that type of thing for folks to understand the value of putting down information ahead of time. You mentioned your mom.
Yeah.
I know that was probably maybe in the beginning a little awkward situation, but
it was at first, but she put us at ease very quickly.
Wow. I would ask you how you may have felt walking out that door that day, too.
A lot better.
Yeah. So just that peace of mind. There's a lot of details, right?
Yeah. Oh, my God. Those of you listening, and if you've never gone through this, I love, this idea that you're talking, or this, what you guys are doing here, because people don't realize the casket. Then you have the vault that goes into the casket. We had no idea about all this stuff. Okay, no idea.
Yeah, I'd see funeral arrangements as it's an investment.
Yeah.
So it's firstly, I see an informational investment. Mm-hmm. So maybe there's information that's being asked that only mom maybe know. Right. So it's a lot of gathering of information. It's an emotional investment that, in my mind, the emotion is taken down a notch when you're doing it ahead of time.
Yeah. And
that's a financial investment. It is. There's finances involved. It's a business. The interesting thing about the last part of that is that things can be prepaid.
Yeah.
And in most cases, they can be guaranteed at the time too. And there are very, very, very few, I can't think of one, business that I am purchasing today. What I'll be using, I have no idea when, but the costs are locked in and guaranteed for folks. And that really, from a planning standpoint, that really, I think, helps. So and that's our connection with Brian Kelly in estate planning. So you have the estate planning done. All we ask is you finish. There's another consideration, and that is, how do I want to be remembered? What kind of tribute do I want? What kind of service do I want? So it just goes hand in hand with anybody that if you're half a planner and putting things together, then I just think that's part of it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's because like I said, with Mom, she was still alive. With my father, he had already passed, and we went there. And, Mom went with us.
Okay.
But just the different things we're looking at, because when we were looking at the caskets, then there's these emblems that you can get put onto the caskets. And we're looking, it's like, okay, well, there's a baseball glove. Dad was big. He played softball all the time, but it was big in coaching a lot of the kids, especially in Legion Ball.
Okay.
So we got to have that there.
Sure.
There was the Navy emblem and the Air Force emblem.
Absolutely.
Have to have them there. And I forget what else. But little things like that people don't think about.
No.
And the fact that, when he was buried, the emblems didn't stay on the casket. They come off. So the family has something.
Sure.
And with me, and God, I didn't know this was going to happen. I was crying as it was. And then during the funeral services, of course, my family made me cry even more because they presented me with the flag.
Okay. Wow.
I thought it was going to be my mother presented me with the flag.
Yeah.
But because I served and was honorably just discharged, they served me with it. So where we went, I was able to get the box with the flag, the box for the flag, but it had a little thing on the bottom where I could also display.
That's great.
Those things.
That's great.
I would have never known that.
Sure.
Amazon ain't going to tell me that. That's for sure. But that's important. The what do you call it? The pre-arrangement.
So it's a pre-arrangement process, a pre-planning process.
I love that.
But that again, it allows you to be your mind a lot clearer to get that figured out. And it's not an easy thing to do because when's a good day to go to the funeral home?
That's true.
So, but that's all part of it. And then I also, you asked me, and I'm sorry about this. You asked me about the biggest changes.
Yeah.
Also, our Jarrettsville location is actually a celebration of life center. So versus a funeral home per se, we do funerals there.
Yeah.
But the very first thing we did there was actually a wedding reception.
Wait a minute, what?
Yay! You heard it here first. And so it's a community gathering place that we've created. So actually, the number one thing there we do are funerals, memorial services. Right. But it is a space that has a lot of windows. We have AV, and it's obviously it's in Jarrettsville on the northern end. But it allows folks to gather for other things. So we had a 16-year-old birthday party there last Saturday. And they had a great time, DJ and everything.
Yeah, wow.
So again, we talk about celebrations of life, and that's a big I'll say buzzword now when somebody passes away, and that's it. That is part of it. But now we have celebrations in other ends too.
Well, and if you haven't done this yet, you should, because I just there was a lady that did this recently. The first time I ever heard of it was, have you ever read the book Tuesdays with Maury?
I have, actually.
Okay, Maury Schwartz.
Yes.
Had he called it a living funeral.
Right.
This young lady had a celebration of life.
Uh-huh.
But she hadn't passed. She was there.
Understand.
I think that's something up and coming where you're going to see more people doing that, especially if they're sick and they know that time's coming. It's like, who cares what people say about me when I'm gone? I want to know what they got to say now.
One of our favorite sayings is, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Right? Don't tell me we've never done it that way.
Right.
Or we've always done it that way. Everybody around me knows those two phrases. everything stops and we're going to have a discussion because I don't like either one of them.
No.
No.
But I read that and I was like, but that's brilliant. I love that. What is the website? I don't think you gave that, did you?
It's very straightforward. It's simply McComasFuneralHome.com. Yeah.
How do you spell it? No, I'm messing with you. Howard, is there anything you would like to add before you pick the last question?
Oh, wow. So, no, I'd reiterate what I've said. The legacy piece is just, it's humbling. It really is.
Yeah.
And to be able to have had the relationship through the community for this many years is, I can only answer to my time there, but I wouldn't do it any other way. There's so much value from our family to be able to serve others. And I'm just looking forward to really what's next.
Yeah.
And just keep an open mind, along those lines. Because who knows, right?
It's learning from you everything I did today, about the industry and the history. This is not my last question, because you're going to pick the last question. If there isn't yet, is there any plans on anybody in the family writing a book?
We don't have many writers. So there's a lot of information being gathered.
Yeah.
And I'd love to harness at some point.
I know Harford County's got a lot of writers.
Absolutely. Writers to put it together. So,
I'm sure there's got to be somebody out there.
Yeah.
All right, so I need you to pick a number between 1 and 5.
Well, since I'm the 4th, I'll go with 4. How's that?
4.
Did I pick right?
Well, I mean, let's see. This category, it says imagination, hypotheticals, and wonders. If you would have picked 5, it would have been legacy, connection, and the global perspective. So
that's what we've been talking about.
Now pick a number. Well, I don't know. You know what? Here's the weird thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know most of these questions. And somehow or another, I would say 99% of the people that I've had on, whatever question they end up picking aligns with what we've been talking about.
Interesting.
So we'll see how good you are.
All right.
All right. Now pick a number between 61 and 80.
Do 77.
77.
For my good friend Chris Robinson.
I guess in a way, this might, if you swing the answer, you could. If you could invent something that would make daily life easier, what would it be? That's a hard question.
Yeah, it is. That's a huge question. Yeah.
Something you could invent to make daily life easier. What would it be?
Well, we're doing a lot of the things now.
Yeah.
Locally, as we continue to grow, some way to get from here to there without wasting too much of your life.
That teleporter.
Yeah, I'm back to the teleporter. I already mentioned a teleporter. So, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I can get philosophical, but I don't want to do that. I'd say just simply, somehow to get from here to there.
Point A to point B.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not in an express lane, which seems to take even longer.
No. How about a pneumatic? I always say pneumatic tube. Think about that. The old pneumatic tubes. Get in there and just go from major city to major city. It's safe. You got no traffic, and it'll get you there in no time at all. So, of course, hold on tight.
Doesn't China have something like this? It's called the bullet train?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
This trip will be too short. We will not be serving drinks or any refreshments.
And then you're there.
Yeah.
Wow. Howard, I want to thank you so much. It's been an honor. And the door is open. Anytime you want to come back and even bring us some of the employees, some of the family, whatever.
Love to.
I mean, and any ideas you have, it's like, hey, Rich, I got an idea that you should do for your podcast.
Okay.
I'm going to say, oh, good. Come on, because you're co-hosting.
Love that.
Hey, Howard, thanks a lot.
Rich, thank you, bud. It's been an honor. Appreciate the relationship.
This conversation wasn't just about funeral homes. It was about legacy, relationships, community, and what it means to show up for people when they need you most. Howard shared some incredible stories about a family business that's been serving Harford County for more than 218 years. But what stood out to me was something much bigger than history. It was the reminder that no matter how much technology changes, no matter how fast life moves, people still need connection. They still need compassion. They still need someone willing to walk alongside them during life's hardest moments. What I loved most is that Howard kept coming back to the same theme throughout our conversation: relationships. Whether it's family, friends, faith, community, or simply being there for a neighbor. Those are the things that truly matter and the things that last long after we're gone. If you'd like to learn more about Howard, the incredible McComas family legacy, their grief support resources, pre-planning services, their celebration of life center, or any of the ways they're helping families throughout Harford County and beyond, head over to McComasFuneralHome.com. Trust me, there's a lot more to this story than just a funeral home. It's a family that's been serving this community for more than 2 centuries. And as always, I want to thank you for listening. If this episode made you think about your own legacy, your family, or someone you've lost, I'd love to hear from you. Join the conversation by leaving a comment, sending me a message or voicemail, or sharing this episode with someone who could benefit from it. Until next time, remember, it's not just about how long we're here. It's about the impact we make, the relationships we build, and the lives we touch along the way.